Hello, guys, and welcome back to Jack Mate's Happy Hour podcast. Things have changed.
It's a special day. This is a good day.
It's back to how it was.
How weird is that?
You wriggled your way back in.
Yeah, we all have. Jordan's gone. I was the one who took the train off the tracks. I went through with my screwdriver and I undid the nuts and bolts on the wheels, and now he's stuck in Norwich forever.
I should just say that Jordan tried to come up today, and because of the storms and whatnot, there was some fire engines at the station.
So we've replaced him.
Yeah,
Simple as that.
Yeah, that is it now.
You can't replace somebody with the replacement, though. How does that work?
Like a Russian doll? No. You don't replace him.
You're putting him back in.
Yeah, it's just maybe if I took your head off, he's underneath. That's how that would work. From time to and Fiona, you're here.
Thank you for remembering me.
I do often forget. Do you want to know what I learnt the other day? It's a bit explicit.
Okay.
Go on.
Please don't.
And this baffles me, right?
Okay.
Dogs.
Why is this going?
Dogs have clitorises.
And how did you find that out?
Whitney, Wisconsin, is that her name?
Me, Whitney, Brookhouse, just hanging out. Just hanging out, baby. Yeah, why do they need that?
Sex, probably.
Yeah.
Just a guess.
I don't like that.
Well, don't fuck them then.
Welcome back, Alex.
Oh, thank you. It's actually managed to get worse.
Have you missed it?
Oh, not after that.
From time to time on this podcast, we do silly little shows such as Conspiracy Theories 2, Ghosts, UFOs, all stuff that we don't know exists, and they go down a treat with you lot. And back in the summer of
69.
I was so tempted. I thought, it's a bit below me. You did it. Back in the summer of 19, we had Lozzie on and we did Urban Legends.
We did.
Which what do they mean? What is it?
An urban legend is essentially like a folklore, an old
Did
tale.
you say folk?
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Folklore is a
Folk.
folklore. That words. Folklore tale told over time, where it tends to change quite a lot. So,
Like when it's like Chinese whispers pass through.
yeah, for a story where it tends to get worse every time you tell it. Like if I told, like. You told me Alex scored an overhead kick and it was really good.
That is an urban legend.
I'd probably go on to tell someone that it was way better than it actually was. And then
It can't get better. It can't get better.
It was actually fantastic.
You know Rooney in the Manchester derby?
Yeah.
He did that in a five-a-side goal.
I did.
That's quite impressive, to be fair.
I'm amazed I pulled it off, to be fair. And so was the other team.
Just looking at you. Oh, no, he's not going to do that.
Well, we were already like 6 goals down, weren't we?
Yeah.
So I would think that's an urban legend.
And because of the success of the first episode, we're going to do a second.
Urban legends.
Yeah, not many people know this. We did do a second one, didn't we, that day?
Yeah, we filmed it the same day. It just never went out.
No, sometimes we mess up the cameras. That second episode is an urban legend now.
Yeah.
Did it happen? Are we making it up?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Was it
Better than
amazing?
anybody thought it was. It was the greatest happy hour of all time.
And the usual format for Alex and Fiona is Stevie's going to read us a story, and then at the end of the story, we rate it out of 10, and we rate it based on 2 things. Mm-hmm. We rate it on
how scary it is,
and we also rate it on
believability.
Lovely.
All right.
I'm ready.
So I've got 4 stories for us today.
Right.
They're not that long, but they're long enough to hopefully make this an hour.
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
So with each story, every single one of these, I've got an origin story, but I'm going to ask for your believability and stuff before I give you the origin, because then you've ruined the believability.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Oh, so
Yes.
you basically just told us that they're all made up.
They're urban legends, Jack. The point of the believability part is, could it possibly happen? Or do you think the first person who ever told the story, which then got the Chinese whispers going, told the truth?
Okay.
So, the first one is called The Hitchhiker. There is a really well-known, dangerous intersection just outside of Baltimore. Dr. Eckershall was driving home from work late one night when he came to a stop. When he came to a stop at the intersection. He was surprised to see a lovely young woman in an evening gown waving him down for a lift. Driving across the intersection, he stops and tells her to climb in the back seat as the passenger seat was cluttered with bags.
Oh, so he's picking her up randomly.
Hitchhiker.
Oh.
Clue was in the title, Jack.
What a mate.
Uber.
Fuck me. Where did I go? Oh, he's off. He asks the girl why she's out all alone at this time of night. The young woman replies, telling the doctor that it's a long story and that she doesn't have time to explain. Her voice was sweet and somewhat shrill-like the tinkling of sleigh bells.
You just added that, didn't you?
Gay. Please take me home. She gives him the address and the doctor proceeds to drive rapidly to the address.
Hey, sorry. Why is she already in the car before she's explaining she needs to go home? Has he just pulled up and she's just got in? Can you take me home? This is not an Uber, can't?
Yeah, well, he went, oh, what are you doing out here? So
I need all of the details.
Okay, so she's hitchhiked,
Yeah.
not someone he knows,
Yeah.
hitchhiker. He's said, yeah, climb in the back seat. Where do you want to go? And she said, please, can you take me home?
Right.
We're there? We all at the same
I'm on
Yeah.
the same page as just
Okay.
Jack.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, she gives the address to the doctor and he proceeds to drive rapidly to the address. He pulls up to the house. Here we are.
These are like scary ad libs.
Sorry.
He pulls up to the house. Here we are. No reply. He turns around and sees that the back seat was empty.
Oh.
Startled, he ran to the house and banged on the door until a grey-haired man answered. I don't know how to explain what just happened. It was the strangest thing. A young woman gave me this address. I drove here and... He was interrupted. Yes, I know. This has happened several times before in the past month. That young woman was my daughter, and she was killed in a car crash at that intersection you picked her up 2 years ago.
What?
That's the end of the story. I thought I'd start with a nice slow one.
So is it kind of like, is the metaphor there? She's not really ever getting home.
Yes. So he's picked her up
that's
exactly where
sad.
she's died, where she had a car crash when she was once on her way home.
I just turned to Alex. You just had a big old grin on your face.
He was like, oh, a woman's dead.
That's what happened to Duty Rhino. He'll never make it back to the Happy Hour studios. And thus he will become an urban legend.
I like that you're still calling him Duty Rhino as well.
Plug him.
That's how you killed him, innit? Right.
So there are multiple versions of this story, I will say.
What are the other
As a
versions?
How can there be multiple
So
versions?
other versions say that once he gets to the address, she's disappeared, and they go back to the car and there's like an item of her clothing or something there. So then the parents can be like, yeah, that was hers. She was wearing that the night she died. Or sometimes they'll get invited in to calm them down,
Right.
and they'll see a photo in the house, and the person will be wearing exactly what they were wearing when they picked him up at the intersection.
Or that he was blonde and not grey. Like differences.
I don't care for that story.
Wow.
Brilliant.
It didn't grab me.
Okay, so no scariness. Let's go for a number.
Cool, that's
It's
not.
a one. It's minimal.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
That's like basic English creative writing GCSE level
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Right, is that a one from all of you?
I gave a 2.
Oh, good. I'm
You
glad.
didn't write it, did you?
Absolutely mugged him off.
I wrote all 4.
No, just to clarify, you didn't, did you?
No.
Okay. I'm going to go for a Uno.
Okay.
No, I mean, I'm just going to go play Uno. This is boring.
And the joke before was beneath you. Okay, and then believability.
1.
One.
So
So
the
you-
idea
One
of
all
someone
round.
seeing a ghost and
You scored a 4 out of 30 on scariness and a 3 out of 30 on believability. So these better pick up.
they do. I really like one of them.
Good ratio. I like 25% of this podcast.
There's other versions of the story as well where they give a warning. So seeing this ghost is like a sign of a warning. But there are origins to this. There are some small amounts of truth behind it. Very, very minimal. They actually go back. These stories were first told with wagons and horses. So before cars were about, I don't know how you die in a wagon crash, but
No, I bet they did quite a bit.
Yeah, there's no seatbelts on a wagon, surely.
No. And horses,
what are the
No
horses doing?
airbags.
horses can leg it.
They can.
Okay, great. Believability for that. Yes.
I like how I said that. You just looked at Alex. He confirmed they can
They
do that.
can do that. I have. They do this thing called horse racing. Apparently, they're pretty fast.
Oh, do people bet on that? I feel like
Yeah,
people,
I think so.
yeah, you should have a little gamble
I
on
don't think
that.
many people die in that one though.
The horses do.
Yeah. Next.
He's loving the sound effects.
Oh.
They get shot in the head because they're too
I
slow.
know.
Oh, this one's got a bad ankle. Put that in a
It's
burger,
so
Tesco.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So yeah, back when there were wagons and horses. Yeah, I agree with you guys, by the way. This story's pretty shit.
Yeah.
But there is a strange thing about it. By 1942, there had been 79, at least, reports of people who actually went to the police to tell them that they picked up a hitchhiker and the hitchhiker had vanished.
Why has that got to go to the police?
Americans are mental.
Yeah, going to the police for that. If I picked up
what
a
are the police going to do? Arrest a ghost?
Yeah.
What are they going to
No,
do?
but even if they're not a ghost, if you pick up a hitchhiker, if I picked up a hitchhiker and then I got to the place and then they went in the back, I'd just be like, all right, he got out.
You'd be freaked out.
How would you not notice?
You would be freaked out.
Yeah, you'd hear a car
behind you
door
and you
go,
go, oh, I've run him over.
I can't always hear when I'm driving. I listen to this podcast on repeat loud.
What, in your headphones?
Yeah, yeah.
sounds safe.
On my brand new Beats headphones. Sorry, go on. Carry on.
That's great. That's it. I was just letting you know that there's a weird stat in America of people who do that.
Can I revise
sure
my
about
answer?
Go on.
0, because it was in the Bible.
Wow.
Can I match that?
Wow. Oh my God. Guys, you
wanna-
can't deduct
Yeah,
marks.
I'll go for a 0 as well.
There we go. Zero's all right.
Right.
I'm
If it's in the
afraid.
Bible, it ain't real.
Yeah. That's the worst.
You would
story.
say that as a B.
As a what? Oh, right. So for people listening, Alex is wearing his new unreleased merch, which is LGBT.
Yes, because the B is invisible.
Because bisexual people don't exist, according
They
to...
are an urban legend.
They aren't in the Bible.
Coming up on story 2.
That's not us actually saying that they don't exist. There's context behind
It's a
that.
TikToker who said it. So
Yeah, so go and slag her
Waffle,
off.
innit? Yeah.
Cancel her, please. Next
Yeah.
one.
move on.
Okay, next one. Bisexuals. Okay, next one's called Stowe Lake. One day, a lady was taking her baby for a walk in its stroller at Stowe Lake. It's in Golden Gate Park, San Francisco. After a while, the lady became tired and decided to stop on a bench to rest. Another lady came and sat down and they began to talk. Engrossed in conversation, the ladies didn't notice that the stroller had rolled away and into the lake. Oh, dead baby.
Does not deserve a laugh.
Alex, you're twisted.
Alex!
You're fucking twisted.
Do you think the B on his top stands for baby?
Yeah.
Baby's
God.
just gone. It's an invisible baby.
How do you not see that? So Jack with his, they were listening to the Happy Hour podcast very loudly on their Beats headphones.
Yes.
Go on, no, where were we? Dead baby. Go on.
Stroller had rolled away and into the lake. The conversation ended and the lady saw her baby / stroller was gone. She panicked right away and ran around screaming, asking people, "Have you seen my baby?" Probably a bit more intensely than that,
Yeah,
but
do it.
"Have you seen my baby?" That's what she told.
That's quite good.
And she laughed like a maniac afterwards.
Have you seen my baby?
What's with the accent? Have you seen my baby? My baby. Have you seen my baby?
It's like an extended spotlight.
Have you seen my fucking baby, Phil?
That was a stroller going into the lake.
Down the stairs.
This better be an urban legend, because if you turn out and go, this is actually real.
I actually read this on BBC News.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh my God, okay, yeah, have you seen my baby? She spent the whole day searching around the lake and asking everyone that she passed.
Well, she's...
Wait, what?
How she searched the whole lake?
Why?
No, she searched around the lake. Yeah, because she doesn't
swim.
She doesn't realise
She doesn't realise
her
it's gone
baby-
into the lake.
I thought she was just waiting for it to crawl out, so she's just walking around the lake. Come on.
No, she's thinking someone must have taken it, so she's running around seeing if anyone's seen the stroller with the baby in it.
Yeah.
The last place she checked was in the lake. The lady walked into the lake looking for her baby and was never seen again.
Right.
So that's the story. And then this is where they push it to kind of the Bloody Mary type style of story.
Okay.
It's rumoured that if you were to go to Stowe Lake at night, weird occurrences take place. Stories have been told that the lady comes up from the lake, or the statue in her honour comes to life, Or she might even come up to you and say, "Have you seen my
That would scare the shit out of me.
Yeah.
That is, I'd give that. That's a 10. That's a 10. I believe it. I believe that happens.
This is good. This
How
is
can
going to have.
somebody accurately recreate her voice that well?
Yeah, I know. This is going to have such serious repercussions if we are ever in a social situation where a woman comes over and goes, "Excuse me, have you seen my baby?" I'm going to go, "Oh, fuck off."
you watch the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh my God, if we now start getting people coming up to us in the street and just go, "Have you seen my baby?"
Here's some homework for you guys. If you see me, Fiona, Alex, or Stevie in the street in the next 2 weeks without any context, please come up to us and go, "Have you seen my baby?"
Oh my God, imagine you're with someone and they're just like, "What the fuck?"
You're with your mum and she's like, "What have you been up to, Stevie? You're going to have to start paying child support."
Again. So, have you seen my baby? So then, similar to can you remember from episode 1? You wouldn't. You should listen to it.
I do. I listen to all of them.
Okay,
No, I don't.
So
Urban legend.
from episode 1, I did that blue baby blue story when
Yeah.
you say in the mirror and you've suddenly got the baby. So when I read this, I knew it was going to get abused straight away. So I'm actually going to ask you the question first, and then I'll tell you what happens depending on what you say. So if you go to the lake and you say, white lady, I have your baby," 2 things will happen. She'll appear. This will happen then.
It will.
Well,
Wow, that's done then.
Yeah, 10.
so she'll appear and say, "Have you got my baby?" Firstly, I just want to know, would you say yes or no, guys?
Well, would I have the baby?
Yeah, hold on.
You've said, white lady, I have your baby.
Yeah.
Whether you have it or not, she's going to ask you the question, do you have my baby? Yes or no?
I'm going to go, no.
We go baited.
So no.
But there's no winning here because
I'll wait until you see what she does.
There's no winning. So you have got her baby, in which case you've got a ghost baby in your arms and a ghost woman that wants it back, which is horrific.
Yeah.
Or you've just lied to her.
Yeah.
Well,
there's
I've
a
got
ghost
what
lady
she'll do
coming for-
dependent on if you say yes or no.
Oh,
This is a
no.
game show now.
She'll say yes.
So you're going to say
all
yes.
right, I'll go yes.
Okay,
then.
so guys, the guys of you.
Yes, we are. We are men.
the lads that said no, she's going to kill you. Yeah?
Oh,
All right.
You,
I'm gonna say.
as you said, lose-lose situation. She's going to haunt you.
Oh.
I was reading that going, if anyone reads this story and goes to that lake and actually decides to go, white lady, I have your baby, you're screwed.
No.
Surely no one's going to go. Like the Bloody Mary thing, like when you said to Lozzie, how much money would someone have to give you, Alex,
Right now.
to do the Bloody Mary in front of a mirror, lights off, the classic, well-known urban legend?
Oh, like 50 quid.
Yeah, so you do it for a small amount.
What, you wouldn't do it for a tenner?
Nah.
Jack, you said you'd never do it, just on the off chance.
Oh, no, I said if the money's right, Stevie.
You
the money's-
compared it to playing Man City as a one-man team against all 11, but you'd be willing to do it because in the situation of Bloody Mary, if she does appear, all
Give
you've
her
got to do
50
is
quid.
turn the light back on
Oh, who's going to pay
and
her off?
you're still free and then you'll get your 50 quid. In this occasion, you'll either get your 50 quid or if she does appear, no matter what you do, you're dead or haunted.
Yeah, no, because you've only given us 2 options that we can say yes or no.
Can we run away?
We're all, as Alex said, we can say baited, bitch, and then what does she do?
She runs to the
goes
next
and
person. Have you
goes-
got my baby?
So that was pretty funny, actually. And then she goes back in.
What?
She's like, sorry.
Yeah, she just goes back like
Making a
that.
TikTok.
She reminds me of that ginger one off EastEnders.
Bianca.
Oh, what, Ricky, you've got my baby.
Sorry.
I think I was going back to EastEnders.
Yeah, always.
So, okay, that's the story. Believability.
What are we rating it all as a whole?
Yeah, as a whole. Overall.
Well, I think obviously we know the white lady part at the end is bullshit. So let's do the story itself. Could that have happened
Oh, what, the woman's lost a baby in the water?
in the water and then she goes in and drowns and never seen again?
That could have happened, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sure it has happened by
Yeah, it
default.
probably has happened, yeah.
By default.
Yeah.
Old default
option
throwing it.
is when a baby goes in the river, you die.
No, because I feel that we live in a world in which so much stuff happens, that has probably happened. Like right now, there's someone having a wee.
Well done.
Probably a lot of people.
Anyone
right
listening
now.
right now, anyone listening to us right now, having a wee, give us a comment.
Freaks
The
out.
world is a constant stream of piss. There will constantly be thousands of people pissing.
Thousands, probably more than that, mate.
Maybe a milli people.
Oh,
A
more
milli.
than that.
A milli people pissing.
All your subs.
All of them piss at the same time, but they don't know it. But they don't know
In
it.
unison.
Right. So how believable is it that people are pissing at the same time? Oh no, the baby in the water. Yeah, 4.
Okay.
Yeah, 4. It's quite believable. 4, 5.
I'm so skeptic. I don't believe it at all. I don't understand why her baby. She hasn't noticed that her baby's fallen in the lake.
Yeah, bad parent then.
Unbelievable. Bad parent, but your back was turned. You're distracted, making a TikTok. You were doing whatever you were doing. You were
Yes.
distracted, right? You didn't notice. But then she's just like walking around.
Well, she's running up to people going, hey, come on, baby.
Wait,
She's going mental at people, so she is trying, bless her.
No, but just then the last thought. Surely she parked the stroller right next to a lake. Surely her first thought is like, oh my god, the baby could have gone in the lake.
Yeah.
She'd jump in. She's a mother. This is her child, but she's just going around getting people's opinions.
Well, I think she's made the assumption that someone's taken it rather than it's rolled on its own.
Yeah,
Don't know.
but if the stroller is on a slight incline or decline, a hill, basically, either way, and
One of those things that's not flat.
yeah, and you turn round and it's gone. If you start running up the hill looking for it, you've got issues.
yeah, you're pretty
Yeah,
thick. Come on.
yeah.
It's
But-
obvious it would have rolled.
Of
It's not
course.
often they put a bench on a hill like that.
No, they can.
I believe it's feasible.
Ascertain that. I believe you can put benches on hills.
Okay, scariness then. You can, in this part, you can obviously add in the actual
Ghost.
daring of going
Well, if
and
you
seeing
die-
the ghost.
All right, I'm going to give it a 3, based just because anytime I'm now in the park at night and I see a woman, I'm going to be scared.
Okay,
Yeah.
that, to be fair, that's
It's a nice reverse, really.
normally women are scared of you in parks.
Yeah, of course they are. So, what?
To be fair, if I was a
I'm 6'5" and
Yeah.
just fuck.
You are not 6'5". Come on, yesterday you were
Jeez, mate,
6'3".
that's an urban myth.
Yeah.
That is an
All right,
urban
I'm
legend.
6'3" and hench as fuck, so they're going to be scared.
you didn't deny us hench as fuck.
It's true, isn't it? Look
He's
at
a
him.
big man.
How much do you rate it on scary?
I'll give it a 5 if you die.
Hold on.
Jack,
So
that's
if I now top myself, he'll give it a 5.
But I'm now confused. Like, what needs to be a 10 for scariness if death is 5?
Slight painful death.
Okay, so what's in between?
Well, I mean, unless he drowns you again, I don't know. He's drowning. That sounds quite scary, actually.
And apparently it's quite peaceful.
I've heard that. Apparently, if
Yeah, that's
you...
why when people go in, they go,
No.
What was that?
There's a
that was somebody
moment
drowning.
Can you just do that again for the cameras? Make sure you make a noise into the mic.
for the visually impaired.
What was you saying?
So I can't remember. What was I saying?
Apparently if you...
Yeah, so apparently if you drown, there's obviously the moment when you're panicking and you're fearing for your life, but apparently when you accept it maybe, or when it becomes, just go down and down and down, you just relax and you just slowly drown.
I've read that it's the worst way to
Have
die.
I sold it to you?
I think that's a 2 because who actually knows unless you do drown? I don't
No, but
believe it.
they've like survived drowning. So
Oh.
like they
They can breathe. They realise after a while I can breathe underwater.
Yeah, they realise they're like, first of all, they're like, oh my God, shit, I'm drowning. And then they go,
And then they get to the bottom and realise
"Oh,
they're a dolphin and go, this
because
is brilliant.
You stole my joke.
Oh,
I was
sorry.
going to say they realised they were a fish.
Then
Sorry.
they went,
Stole
what in a sushi?
I'm a sushi.
I'll be a sushi. I'm a prawn.
Everything connected itself.
So we
at
got
that
a
point.
5 for death.
Oh, I'm freaked out,
Scary.
actually. I've just thought of something. I would probably give this more because me and Jack live right next to a river and we had some weird, crazy weather recently and the river kind of dried up.
That's well weird.
Yeah,
It was
so
so
we
weird.
had so much rain recently, but the river
Dried
has just
up.
dried up.
You know
I don't
Winsome
where
River?
it's gone.
And then the lights went out.
Yeah.
Is that
Oh,
like?
yeah.
And then a woman in a ball gown.
Is that not like, you know, like if like there's a method of like if your toilet's overflowing or whatever or blocked, you can
We don't
quickly
shit in
put
the river, Stevie.
no, but like you can quickly put a bucket of water down and it flushes it all out and then it empties it. Is that not the same as what's happened with the river? I don't know much about geography. Is it geography?
So you're saying someone's put a bucket of water in the river and the
reckon
whole
so.
thing's
God's
dried
bucket.
up?
How would you want to die? What's the best way to die?
Hold on, I haven't finished my story.
Oh, and yeah?
Can't wait for the wedding.
You know what? It's not even
Halfway through our vows.
Right. So it's scarier because we live near a river and it's dried up.
Yes, that's not scary.
Right.
Okay, that's just nature.
Depends
It
if you're
dried
a
up.
fish.
It dried up. She saw a stroller at the bottom.
That is it.
Oh, that was...
What?
Do you not remember? There was a baby stroller. So this actually happened.
This has come to a 10.
This has actually happened probably maybe about 3 or 4 months ago. The river, okay, so I got mixed up. The river did dry up yesterday, but I'm actually mixing it up. Before, a couple of months ago, the river slightly dried up or slightly receded, and there was a baby stroller upside down. So one of those like triangle ones, like a little pram thingy, upside down on the riverbed. So it's like, whose is that?
Imagine.
How was that baby stroller got in there?
Yeah, but
Did
you
I go and
also-
check for a baby? No.
Maybe the
It could have
baby.
been.
Maybe the
You guys
baby
live in
grew up.
Norwich. People throwing babies in there as all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Were
that's
you looking out your window? Because you can see from your flat, can't
Yeah,
you? The
yeah.
river. Imagine you're looking out the window and out of nowhere you just see this head pop up and go, have you seen my baby? What would you do?
There was
I'm pointing to
actually
the river.
there was actually a death outside our house last winter.
Yep.
Weren't there?
What?
Yeah. So
Genuinely.
you know how we've got the river that goes by.
Yeah,
There was you got the river, and then you've got another woods the other side.
you do. I was trying to picture it and I went, yeah, no, you do.
Yeah,
You're not lying, this is great.
You do.
I'm still on method acting.
Do you know this one?
I'm still the lady.
10 out of 10 for believability.
Because I do. No, so
I'm still the lady.
I like how we went from like avoiding, like maybe mocking these tragedies just in case they're real to Jack goes, I've got a real tragedy, and we go, haha.
you do. Right. There's a woodland, and then one night we heard a noise.
It was just like, have you seen my baby?
No.
One night we heard a noise.
No, we heard a noise, like an alarm, and then I looked over and I was like, oh shit, look at that, look. And then there was like an orange light and someone was like going through the woods like, with this light. And then I went running through there a day later and there was a crime scene tape around it. And I was like, what the fuck has happened there? Next night, the police are there again, blue lights this time. And then I come home. We had a Norfolk constabulary letter in our... Do you remember this?
I do. Mhm.
In the letterbox. And it just said that somebody had passed away in that woods. And if anyone had any information, please to let them know.
When you said you heard a noise, what was the noise?
So the noise was kind of like a scream, which happened over a period of time.
What?
But we found out it was a little...
It was foxes shagging.
Oh, so the noise was irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's just like it just happened to be when someone had died. My favourite part of that story is that at New Year's, we went out drinking and we went back to yours and I left your house to walk home at 4 a.m.
And we let you.
You never told me that someone had died near your place.
What way did you walk?
Not through the woods.
Oh, you're right then. You're right. It's
Oh,
fine.
it's just the forest of death, is it?
Yeah.
Logan
Yeah.
Paul in there. Relevance.
Yeah. What is it, 2017?
Yeah, what year is this?
Anyway.
We like Logan now.
Yeah, we do actually.
I don't mind them.
like some stories, but you can't be mean to him anymore.
I'm ambivalent. Carry on.
This one has a small amount of small origin story behind it.
Yeah. What's it called?
There was a man outside Jack's house.
What the story was
Yeah.
called Stowe Lake. So the origin behind it is a San Francisco
Oh, we're still
thing.
on that one.
Yeah, I haven't given you the origin.
Brilliant. Go on.
So the origin is, it's very, very well known in San Francisco. So that's the lake that people would go to on Halloween if they dare. But it's been going around for over 100 years. People have been telling this story
Right.
in San Francisco. And in 1908, a man was driving away from that lake and he got pulled over for speeding. And when the police stopped him, he told them that he was trying to escape a terrifying ghostly woman.
Oh.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Yeah, but that sounds
Great
like
excuse,
That's
but-
like, yeah, he already knew the story. So when he got done for speeding, he was like, "Oh, that was that. That was that ghost woman. Have you seen my baby?
I've got a baby right here. You won't let me get away.
Okay, should we go for a midway break? And
We'll have a
hold on to
little
the
break.
stories?
That's two stories done. We've got two more for you to endure, would be the word I'd use there.
Wow. I've got two. One of them is all right. The other one I really like, and it actually scared me at my own house. So I'm going to save that for last.
You do.
Ooh.
Let's go. Come back after this break and we'll carry on with this utter shit show. Hello, guys, and welcome back to Jack Mate's Happy Hour. In the first half of the show, we heard The Hitchhiker and Stowe Lake.
I'm glad you remembered.
Some of it goes in.
Oh, that's good.
The titles. The rest of it, do not care for. You got 2 more, ain't you?
Yes. So
do they get progressively more scary?
I'll save the best for last.
Oh.
I want to say that, and you're going to hate it.
Why?
Oh, just because you're you and you don't give me anything good.
Yeah. All right, go on. Next one. What's it called?
Okay, this one is called. I'm going to say this wrong, so for any Latin Americans or Mexicans out there, I apologise, but it's La Llorona.
Can I say it?
Oh, that was pretty
So
good.
it's
Yeah.
L-A, then double L.
I think it's La Llorona. Sorry.
Yeah.
Double
that's
L.
La 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 Llorona. So it's La Llorona.
Yeah.
Llorona. I believe it's rolled R's.
Oh, let's move on.
And so in English, that's the Weeping Woman.
Okay. Just say
Sounds
that.
lovely, doesn't
Just
it?
say that.
Okay, so the Weeping Woman. In a rural village in Mexico, there lived a young woman named Maria. She came from a poor family.
Sorry, that would be Maria.
You were going to do it. She came from a poor family, but was known around the village for her beauty and grace. Here it goes again. One day, a wealthy nobleman was passing through the village and stopped in his tracks when he saw Maria. He'd travelled all over the world and had never seen anyone as beautiful as her. He was mesmerised. Maria was easily charmed.
Sorry, I can't let that sound.
It's because I almost went, Maria. I was like, no, I'm not going to.
You do.
See, this is why you don't find this scary. You keep making little jokes in between because you're scared you're going to get scared.
True, go on.
Maria was easily charmed by him, so when he proposed, she accepted.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't given you a time frame.
Oh, true.
Eventually, the two married, and Maria gave birth to 2 sons. So
God, that's fucking terrifying.
You know, it's been at least 18 months.
They could be twins.
To 2 differently aged sons. Her husband was always travelling and never spent time with the family. As the years went on, Maria began to realise her husband had fallen out of love with her, and one day he returned with a younger woman. Maria was angry and hurt, and in a blind rage, she murdered her husband and her 2 sons and threw the bodies in the river.
Not their fault.
What have the sons done?
She instantly realised what she had done and cried out for her sons before drowning herself.
Have you seen my baby?
Plural.
Maria now spends eternity looking for her lost children. She's always weeping as she searches for them, earning her the name La Llorona.
Right.
It is said that if you hear her crying, you are to run the opposite way. The cries can bring misfortune or death. She kidnaps wandering children at night, mistaking them for her own. She begs the heavens for forgiveness, and when they don't forgive her, she drowns the kidnapped children. People who have seen her claims that she appears crying at night by the rivers or lakes in the area wherever they're telling the story.
Stowe Lake.
And she's always wearing a white gown with a veil.
People who just tell
This
these
is
stories
just-
stop their kids from playing in the river at
That-
night.
Yeah.
I feel like this is just a
yeah.
story that's made up to stop children like wandering off at night or, you know, being unsafe.
Or it's
I
an
will
excuse
explain in the
drowning
origins.
children.
Isn't it weird that like to stop our children from doing things like that, we tell them like the most gruesome fucking stories ever?
I was having that conversation with someone the other day. Fear is taught. Like, no one is scared of anything until you're told that something is scary.
I don't know. You come out
No.
crying.
I don't know. If I saw a lion, I'd be like, it's quite scary.
I think it's ingrained within you. Like you have survival instinct, don't you? Like,
Yeah, that's
I
why
don't think a baby
phobias-
would crawl into a fire.
No, I don't know.
Shall
Can
we
kids
test
touch
it?
Yeah,
hot
can we
stuff?
test that? If anyone out there's got a newborn baby
And you haven't taught it that a fire is bad yet.
Yeah.
Put it in.
Just
Do you,
email
I don't know.
us.
I don't think it is taught because at no point do I ever remember my dad going, "Don't go in the fire."
Bad parenting.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, yeah, so that's the story. I apologise to anyone of Mexican descent or anyone who knows, because the story is very, very widely spread and it's told in different ways. She doesn't always necessarily die. She doesn't always kill the husband, but there's loads of different things about that
You
story.
didn't apologise to the people in America for their
Yeah.
Stowe Lake story. The people in Stowe Lake, they get a free pass, apparently. But the Mexicans, oh, sorry, Mexicans.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you're so woke.
I am. I'm smart. I know when to do it.
Right, okay.
So, story. Believability.
Ooh.
No.
So we're just... All we've got to do...
No out of
I
10.
said no.
no out of 10. All we've got to do is rate whether or not a man's left his wife for a younger woman, that woman's got angry and then murdered him and 2 children.
Yes.
That's believable.
That's
a-
believable.
That's happened.
that's a 10.
Surely that's
Yeah,
Yeah,
happened.
that would have
Although it is
happened.
harsh to kill the
That
kids.
would have happened by default.
By default. Why did I just go to that?
It's the first thing people do, isn't it?
Okay, scariness for the story.
Not really. It's
4.
I'd still go play in the river.
Yeah, 2.
All right. Okay, so there is an origin to this, and it's, as I said, it's known throughout Latin America. Elements of the story can go back as far as 1486 in German folk tale.
Folk.
So the first actual publication of the name La Llorona, whatever it is identified as, it's in a poem in the late 1800s, and she's identified as the ghost of a woman who was murdered by her husband.
Right.
So similar.
That's happened though, loads of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the story itself is exactly what you said. So it's a tale over time, but parents used to use it if they said to their kids, oh, you need to be back in by 5. If they wouldn't, they started telling them, yeah, but the weeping woman will catch you if you're not back in by this time, if you're not back in before it's dark.
Don't go outside or La Llorona will get you.
Yeah.
Much like now, don't go outside or La Corona will get you.
I was waiting for that.
But then it was also used, occasionally used as a way to stop husbands from cheating, because it says that she'll either come back to kidnap kids or kill cheating partners.
Right.
That's what stops you.
Yeah.
I was going to,
My
but
children will be murdered.
if they're
Maybe I'll
cheating,
do it.
This is
Okay.
going to be a very short second half to this show unless this story really picks up.
So, final story. This one actually shat me up a little bit at home.
Did it?
So I was doing this last night. I was at home alone, and I was in my living room, and I'm a good person. I turn off all the lights in my house whenever I go somewhere other than the room I'm in.
Why does that make you a good person?
Saving the planet,
electricity.
fucking bastard.
Oh, all right, Greta Thunberg over there. Fucking hell. You turn off, do not tell me how to speak when you've just called it folk. What do you call it?
Folklore.
Folklore. I went, you do.
I'm from Norwich. Leave me alone.
And I'm not. Go on.
So So I was in my house alone writing out all these. And this one, we know they're urban legends, so I will quickly explain. This one, I read the whole thing, tried to find the research on the origin. Everything I read just made me think it actually happened. So this is the first urban legend I've read where they give you specific names of characters in it, like to the surname as well. So there's a guy called Douglas Griffin, and he's the main character in this. And I was like, that's strange that there's a full name and then a full name of another guy. Didn't write it down, not that relevant. But I was like, oh, that's weird. So I just searched the names, and you get thousands of results, all saying, so the title of this final story is Bunnyman Bridge. You search Douglas Griffin on Google, and it just goes Bunnyman, the Bunnyman, the Bunnyman, Bunnyman. And I'm like, did this actually happen? So I had to search and search.
What was that?
Oh no.
I did just hear a loud noise.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh no. What was that?
Alex is first to get taken. The Bunnyman's outside.
Wait,
Oh, don't do that.
I actually...
Do you want to check?
Can you
Yeah,
check?
mate,
No, I'm not going. Fuck you.
I'm not
I'll take the
going.
headphones off. I'm terrified. No, 10 out of 10 for believability.
Just
I
move
know
the
you wanna
curtain a
open the
little bit.
curtains.
I like how quickly Jack moved the curtain then.
What was that noise?
What was that?
That was so
I
bizarre.
heard something.
That was-
Me and you both heard it.
Want to look? I heard it as well.
What was it? It was like a rolling.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like a stroller rolling.
It has been going on for the entire time.
Oh, has
Has it? I just heard it
Right,
from...
does that even make it better or scarier?
Okay, yeah.
Well, I like the fact that
Do you not want to check, like, outside?
I looked in the reflection of the door and saw it, and it was not there. That was weird.
Okay. Well,
That was weird. I don't know.
Do you want to move yourself back central?
no, not really.
Okay,
Wow.
so yeah.
That was
terrified of
really
that.
I
weird
wonder. I
timing.
wonder if that'll pick up on the audio or not. I don't think it will.
Yeah, I don't think it
I
will.
bloody hope not.
Yeah.
So for you lot listening or watching on YouTube, whatever one this is, that was a weird...
Hi.
Was that what the fuck is that? Oh my god, wow. The curtain started to move.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Happy Hour podcast.
Oh my God, why are you hiding on the chair? Like it's going to get your feet.
What's happening? Why do we keep hearing noises?
Oh, I don't like this because this is the one that shit me up last night.
Oh, don't.
And I have to travel home alone.
Out we go. Let's go together as a duo. We've got this.
Yeah, me and Fiona will stay in here and look after the studio.
I'm a big fan.
So, yeah, for anyone listening, they've actually left the studio room.
Is it not
Anything?
Is it not this?
Yeah, is it you making a noise on your chair?
Moving.
I don't know. That's really weird.
All of this is going to get cut, but just in case, Jack just pretended to strangle himself.
Mate. I'll tell you what though, this will make one hell of a YouTube clip.
I'll lock the door.
Oh my God.
Yeah, lock it.
How do you lock it?
No, you can't lock it.
No, okay, pull the curtain closed.
Why do we have to close the curtain? That just makes it more
Because,
scary.
for the video.
Jesus.
For the quality of the video. Can't sacrifice
Don't worry about death.
Message to Katie right now. That was genuine, by the way. We just had some noises that shit us up. That was well
What
weird.
the fuck was that?
I was terrified.
Wow.
I want
Perfect timing as well.
Right.
So, yeah, I searched this Douglas Griffin character and it just gave me thousands of results about the Bunnyman. So, yeah, I was quite creeped out at home last night.
I'm creeped out now.
I am officially.
And I will say
creeped.
the origins to this.
No.
Stop.
Okay.
You guys are...
Fiona's freaking out.
I'm
now.
actually freaking out. I thought I saw the curtain move.
If it does, it's just Alex's chair touching it.
Just
Okay,
really-
right, Bunnyman.
Okay, yeah. So, Bunnyman Bridge.
Please don't say if you say it 3 times.
If you say it 3 times on a podcast.
I'll tell the story, but I just want to let you know in advance. The origin to this is fucked up. Like, it's creepy as fuck. So this is the one last night I was just doing and I was going, my eyes were like water and reading it and writing stuff out. And I was like,
What?
I was honestly like, this is like, it was making my skin crawl a bit.
Don't tell it then.
So,
No, tell it.
okay, I'm hoping to get a good scary fact of this. If you guys now
I'm
don't like this, I'm
already
going to be so
shit
disappointed.
scared.
Our sensors are already heightened, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so in 1904, an asylum for the criminally insane in Clifton, Virginia was closed down and the inmates were transferred to other facilities. During relocation, one of the vehicles crashed above a bridge, like an overpass.
That was you. It's the microphone.
I do not like this. The driver of the bus and most of the inmates inside were killed in the crash, but a few of them escaped. A manhunt commenced, and all but 2 of the inmates were found. In the days that followed, rabbit carcasses were found.
Rabbit
carrots. In the days that followed, rabbit carcasses were found, skinned and mutilated, hanging from trees in the surrounding area. The rabbits were said to be missing chunks, which were torn out by human teeth.
How do they know it's human teeth?
You can check that. It's feasible. Authorities doubled their efforts to relocate the missing inmates. The first was found. He was hanging from the bridge and he was killed just like the rabbits, skinned, mutilated, with human teeth marks. The final inmate became known as the Bunnyman as he continued to stalk the woods of Clifton. The police eventually boxed him in at the overpass, and in a last-ditch effort to escape, he was struck by an oncoming train. Police supposedly heard...
Sorry, Saffron Barker there.
That's the train.
When am I going to get home?
Duty Rhino was on it.
Police supposedly heard laughter as the train barreled past. They later uncovered that the Bunnyman had been convicted for brutally killing his family on Easter Sunday. So that's the story itself.
Right.
So reading the story, I was a bit like, oh, that's a bit creepy. It's feasible to happen, I'd say. Believability, what would you say?
7.
What?
What a crazy Easter egg, that was.
Why have the rabbit? Why are the rabbits got human teeth?
Because he's
No, they don't
biting-
have human teeth. Bitten into...
What do you hear?
Rabbits don't have human teeth.
You have not been
Human
listening.
teeth marks.
I thought it was
in
like a
them.
Donnie Darko type thing.
No. Oh, strange you say that. There is a Donnie Darko reference to do with this.
Is there? Right, so there's rabbits that have been skinned and then they got human teeth marks.
Marks, yes. He was basically killing these rabbits, skinning them alive, mutilating them, and just biting chunks out of them because he was criminally insane. He had actual mental issues, obviously.
Right.
Okay, so believability.
Cool. 3?
Why so
Really?
low?
Because I don't think... All right, 7 then.
Where was the jump?
Go
We've
from
just,
3
we've
till
just
7.
exposed that the counter system on this is fraudulent.
Go on, I'll go 6. What are you saying?
4.
I already said 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So believability.
7.
That's the best of the one. Scariness for that story.
Well, only because my
And you moaned at me for talking.
only because my senses are heightened. I'm going to go for a 6.
Yeah, quite scary. Give it a nice 6, 7 maybe.
I'm fully freaked out. It gets a 9 from me.
Oh, what a story. Okay, so the origin, as I said, really weird.
Is this where is the origin scarier than the story? Would you say?
It probably adds
Because
to it.
it makes sense why this story is so well known. So in Clifton, Virginia, where this story is based, it's a very, very well-known bridge. People do actually avoid going near it.
Do they?
So yeah, fact.
So you can see pictures of this, little pictures.
Yeah, you can search the bridge. And at Halloween, it's a well-known dare. So it's you could just search Bunnyman Bridge. That's
All
what
right.
people literally call it. That Clifton, Virginia. If you want to give it a little Google, so it's an overpass. It's a bridge you can walk under, and trains go above it. So that's obviously where he died in the story.
Right.
So you'll see loads as soon as you search it. I'm sure you'll see loads of creepy bunnies. And,
that does look well creepy. I was thinking of a huge
like car bridge. No.
Yeah.
So it's like an underpass that you can walk under and trains go directly above it.
I've seen this on a meme before. I've seen it on a meme where they say so they took a picture of it at night time and some fools be tempted to trespass on the railroad. Sorry, I was just reading it. I've seen a picture where they have it and it's dark and it's nighttime, and then there's text over it that says, "Would you go through here on your own for $100,000 or something?"
Oh. So, there we go. We can do that. We said how much would it cost to go under that?
Would you want to be paid to go under it?
I'm gonna ask this question before and ask after I tell you the origins.
Do you want to
why.
see some pictures of it?
Please.
So if we put them up on the YouTube video as well for people.
Yeah, Tom, put these up. But so there's this, which is the daytime one, which looks quite nice, really.
It doesn't look bad.
Look at nighttime.
Oh.
How it's just
Okay.
it's just lit. It's just dimly lit.
Yeah.
And then there's that one. There's that.
That's just a picture of a stuffed rabbit.
And then apparently this is a real photo. I don't know if you've seen this, Stevie. I was then reading about it, but apparently someone took that photo and there's a silhouette.
It looks like a silhouette of a demon, maybe with
It's a bunny.
horns.
It's a bunny.
It's the Easter
okay.
Bunny.
Yeah, it's the Easter bunny.
I see that.
He's
Okay,
chilling.
so how much money to walk under that at night on your own?
See, I would want a little bit for it. I'm not going to be cool here and go tenner. I'd want $1,000.
Okay, Alex.
Yeah, 5k.
Yeah, he earns more than me.
I work retail, or I used to work retail, so £6.80. No, I need some more answers. How long would it take? Can I run under it?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
But it's pitch black, nighttime.
So I
that
can run
photo
under
Jack
it.
just showed.
Yeah.
The only reason that was lit is because that's a car's headlights.
Okay,
So
so
bear in mind it's pitch
completely-
black.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's pitch black. You don't get that
So,
light. You can have your phone
completely.
torch.
I'll go for $3,000.
Okay.
I would so completely pitch black, but I'm allowed to run through it.
Yeah.
And I can have a phone torch.
Yeah.
$1 million.
Okay.
What? If you ever got offered $500,000 to do that and you don't do it, we're over. I swear.
What if she dies?
She ain't gonna die.
Okay, so anyone at home, also, if you have a quick Google, if you're only listening, find the bridge, think about how much it would cost. Here's the origin story behind it,
Oh no.
and why I'd query whether I'd do it.
Okay.
So in 1970, there were 2 incidents, actual incidents that were reported to the police about this bridge. This is where the story came from. It wasn't a well-known story that people have gone to the police going, "Oh, I've seen this. This is why." On October 19th, 1970, a young couple were driving home and stopped their car near the bridge on the road.
Why?
It doesn't say the reason.
Chilling.
They were getting something. It wasn't known as a scary bridge then. They were just stopping maybe to get something
it
out of the
doesn't
car.
matter what it's known. It looks scary.
And then out of nowhere,
Vibing.
a man dressed in all white smashed through the car window with a hatchet, shouting about trespassing, and they sped away. And when they got home, they found the hatchet in the back of the car, so he dropped it in the car. So they've gone to the police about this and said, during the accounts of telling the police, the man said, he described it, he said, the guy was in what only looked like a human bunny costume. He had big ears and in this all white. The woman described it as something that that could have looked like the Ku Klux Klan outfit, so a big hood. So obviously fairly looking similar stories. And they sped away, they got away and told the police. 10 days after this, there was a construction security guard by the bridge, and on the exact same road, he saw a man in a bunny costume stood in the porch of an unfinished house on the road. So he goes over to the man, and on his way over, he shouts to him, "What are you doing here?" And the bunny man starts smacking one of the porch posts with an axe and starts shouting at him about trespassing. So he goes in to tell the police about it, obviously. And then around that time and after, over 50 different people went to the police about a bunny man with an axe in that area. And it got so big over there that all the major newspapers were covering it, including the Washington Post.
Wow.
So there was a genuine possible. So they closed both cases. So the main two cases were the hatchet that smashed through the car window, and then the man stood outside the house hitting the post with the axe.
So they never found anybody.
There's lack of evidence bar a hatchet which was stuck in a thing, but obviously if he's in a massive bunny costume, there's going to be no fingerprints. And then
Probably wasn't even DNA back then.
yeah, and then there was obviously
DNA testing, I
they
should
might have
say.
found
DNA just didn't exist.
they
until
might have
20
found
years
like
ago.
the hatchet marks on the post of the porch, but what's that other than a few cuts into a porch? There's no proof of who was there or anything. But yeah, they're the origins behind that one. I was just reading that at home going, all right, mental cunts.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That's creepy.
That's scary.
Okay.
Nothing nice about
scary.
Easter eggs either. No redeeming factor.
Okay, so now would you change your money for the amount to go through it? Now you know there was a genuine story.
See, yeah, I'm going to need more money, right? But not because I think the bunny man might be there. But you know how, like, in a lot of these urban legends and like old stories of murderers, you have copycat
Yeah.
killers.
Yeah.
And I imagine that if I was a killer, somewhat sane, not meant like that I've heard this story, but I'm a bit insane, that I can comprehend it, I would like to be cool enough to do that. So, like, what I'm trying to say is, if I'm...
Jack's the bunny man.
if I ever wanted to be a murderer, right?
It's
One
you
day just
don't.
fancied it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a boring one.
All right.
Right.
I'd be a cool, like, not a cool one, but I'd
There
like...
are no cool murderers.
No, but I'd have a quirk. I'd have a quirk. Like, if I am...
A skill move.
Yeah, if I am going to be...
A finisher.
Game breaker. If I ever was tapped enough to want to kill another human, I'm not saying that's good or I'll ever do that,
I don't think anybody was implying that you would.
I would go out in a blaze of glory.
Great.
What throughout the multiple
I know
murders,
exactly what
or-
you do.
What?
You would literally dress up as a Joker.
No, I'd dress up as like a big calendar.
He kills you every day of the month.
Yeah, you open day 25 and my face is there. Your skin. Right, I don't
So
know.
you'd up the money for that thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't run for it for at least $8,500.
Very specific.
Yeah.
Why 8.5?
Alex, you still at 5?
No, I'm going to... what's a decent brand deal? 30k.
Hey, he's decent. I've never had that before.
Yeah, it is a decent brand deal.
You were at $1 million before, so I don't know what to say now. You actually know.
Billions and billions.
What was that little story? Oh, I found a diary of mine that I had when I was like 6 or something. And in the back of the diary was just me writing out words. So almost like practicing my handwriting. I've got no idea. But it just said, it's not even funny. It just said,
Well, apparently it's funny.
Sushi.
Yeah.
it just said,
It's better be good now.
This is like an urban legend.
Yeah.
It's not
I'm
told so many
expecting something
times.
big.
Go on. It
It's
said
always
what?
become too good.
not even funny. I'm laughing at how funny I find it. And I just know no one else
Go
is
on,
gonna
just
laugh.
say it.
It just said, I can't even remember what it said.
Oh, my God. Katie, you
said-
can cut all of that.
That is
It
shocking
said-
behaviour.
It said millions and billions and willions.
What? Williams.
So,
Why did it say Williams?
$8.5 grand for me, 30 grand for Alex, and millions and billions and Williams for Fiona. There we go. This has been Urban Legends Part 2. Very, very scary. Alex, thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Come back next week for Room 101.
No way.
Fiona. Thanks a William. And Stevie.
Love you, Williams.
I'll see you next week. This has been Jack Makes Happy Hour. Oh, I'm scared.
I'm so excited to get a William views.
That's so